I'm Casey. I've been on the road for about 4 months now, and this is my 2019 Ford Transit van. So this is Pam. We're in the kitchen now. The kitchen was a really important piece for me. I really love to cook and I wanted to keep cooking on the road, so there's kind of a lot in here. We've got an oven, a 2-burner stovetop up here, and then a decent amount of counter space. We've got our sink, just your standard sink with a cutting board insert. And then over here we've got a 2-foot by 2-foot countertop, which is really nice for any cooking project I've done in the van so far. But this also converts into a 2x2 shower. So if we lift up this countertop, we hook a shower curtain into the ceiling and you've got a standalone shower. It's great just for when we're in an area where there aren't a Planet Fitness or different options to shower. It's also great for storage. I keep all of my dog supplies under here. So this is definitely one of my favorite parts of the van. As soon as I learned about van life, there was no turning back. It was always in the back of my head. And once COVID hit, honestly, a lot of things got uprooted for me and I needed to buy a car. So I decided to buy a van, and over about 8 months, converted it into a home and then hit the road. I worked with a company called Live a Little Vans in Connecticut to design the layout, and then they built it out for me. I have in the back a 30-gallon water tank for fresh water, and then the way we deal with gray water is all gray water from the sink goes to a jug underneath the sink, and then for the shower there is a tank underneath the van where all of the shower water goes. And I do have a water heater in here. It lives under the bed and it goes both to the shower and to the sink. Early on in moving all of my stuff into the van, I knew putting anything I could on a wall would be really handy for storage. Definitely don't want knives rolling around. So I have this magnetic bar here for knives, measuring cups, scissors, all of that. And I did the same thing for my spices. I have this magnetic panel here where I keep all these spices and pull them right off, and they're really easy to use. I have a hammock for my produce and I don't recommend it. I don't think anyone in a van who's had one will recommend it. Yesterday, we straight up made guacamole on the wall while driving. So we have it, just haven't found a better solution for it. We have a lot of storage up here. These two are mainly for kitchen supplies. So we've got just storage, spices, different things like that, more food supplies back here. And then there's a third one back here where I keep toiletries, just a lot of miscellaneous stuff, which is really nice. There's a lot of storage in this van. I don't really need any more than we have. So that's a really feature we're really happy with in here. The only thing I would do differently in the kitchen is I think I would lose this bench seat for a larger fridge. It's really just me. I do have friends come stay with me sometimes, but we're very rarely sitting across from each other on these benches. So just to have a little bit more food storage with a larger fridge would be the one thing I'd change in the kitchen. Under this bench seat, I have a Dometic fridge. There's a little freezer that you can remove if you ever don't need it. In any upgrades I make, I would upgrade to a larger one. I cook in here every day, usually at least 2 meals a day. And I've even started baking. That's a big part of my cooking hobby. And this oven works great. And the oven runs off of propane. You can put a 1-pound propane tank underneath and it hooks up right underneath the oven. I think having the oven in the van is one piece that makes it really feel like home. That was a big part of my life, baking for myself, but for friends too. So just to have that in the van as well really makes it feel like home, and is definitely one of my favorite parts. The hardest thing about living on the road, I think in the beginning, was getting comfortable taking up space. And by that I mean you have to rely on the resources around you to make this lifestyle work. You have to figure out where you're getting water. You have to go camp somewhere that's not yours. Figure out new places everywhere you go. And just getting comfortable telling myself, okay, we're in a brand new spot. We're starting all over and we're going to figure this out. Was an adjustment in the beginning. It's totally second nature now, but it's very different, I think, from the kind of person I was before living in the van. So just past the kitchen, we have the dining room slash office area. I have 2 benches here and then a lagoon table that is nice for eating or for working during the day. I can also store things under these benches. So obviously one of them has the fridge underneath, and then my composting toilet lives under here and it vents out the bottom of the van. And then we're 4 months into living on the road, so recently I've looked more into just adding some things to make it feel more like home. So I have a couple of plants that are getting enough light in here and are still alive. And then I decided to put a mirror in here for 2 reasons. One, I have left the van with my pants on backwards more than I would like to admit. And it also reflects the light from the bunk window on the other side, so it makes it feel a little bit brighter and a little bit bigger in here too. We have dimmable lights in the van. They dim in 2 sections, so in the kitchen and then in the bedroom area. Those are really nice. Right here I have my control for my Webasto heater, which lives under the passenger seat in the front and blows hot air back this way. It runs off of gasoline that taps into our gas tank. We've had a couple of cold nights recently. It got down to the teens and it kept the van really toasty, so it works really well in here. Over here, carbon monoxide detector. We do have propane in here, so we have a detector. And then this is the remote for the max air fan in the ceiling. Normally I have a cooler under here, but we are fostering a puppy right now, so the cooler moved to the front seat, and now we have a little crate, so we have a safe place for her to stay while we're driving. And then we have the bedroom. The bed is a little bit high because I keep my bike underneath. That's the main reason why it's so high up. It would be nice to have it a little bit lower, but having the bike back there makes it totally worth it. It's a full-size bed, and then we have our bunk window there, which creates nice ventilation and also sometimes has a nice view to wake up to in the morning. In doing a full bed back here, we had space left for a closet. It's about 1 foot deep and then runs about 2/3 the length of the bed there. I did not expect it to hold as much as it does, but I have all 4 seasons worth of clothing in there. So I am so glad I thought to put this in last minute. It's been a game changer. And then with the bed, it looks a little short, and that's because it is to save some space during the day while I'm not sleeping. We push the bed platform back, so right now it's about 2/3 the length it would be while I'm sleeping, and it pulls out right to about here for a normal size, full size bed. The Ford Transits are too narrow to do a full bed east-west, so we did it north-south. I'm tall, so compromising on the length of the bed was not an option. So that's why I set it up that way. Up here we have 2 reading lights that also have USB ports, which are great for charging phones. And then I have a Simply Safe security system in the van. So this is the security camera, and there's little pieces all around the van that can detect motion, glass breaks. There's a temperature sensor in here for when I need to leave my dog for a little while. And that's been really handy. It's nice for peace of mind, just security-wise, but also for the times I need to leave my dog in here. It's well insulated, so it stays a comfortable temperature, but just being able to check in while I'm out running an errand or going to the gym is really nice. The whole security system is connected to a hotspot. I have a separate hotspot for the system that can stay in the van. When I'm working, I use my phone hotspot, but obviously that leaves with me when I leave the van. So it has its own hotspot. And that way, if I set the system and turn it on and there's motion in the van, it detects a really hot or cold temperature, or it senses glass breaking, like a window breaking. It'll alert my phone and my watch, so I know what's going on. And as long as we have service, it will also call the local authorities. I think more people I talk to are more nervous about me traveling by myself than I am. It was an adjustment, and I was definitely hyper aware everywhere I went when I first started, but I also built out the van with that in mind. It doesn't have a lot on the outside that would give it away as a van someone's living in. I do have my security system, and I, am very careful everywhere I go, but I lived in a city before I lived in a van. There were plenty of risks there for a woman living on her own. I don't see an increased risk doing that in a van. So I've felt very comfortable. There was definitely an adjustment in the beginning, especially with people asking me a lot of questions. I was hyper aware everywhere I was going, but trust that you know how to handle it. You're in a much better spot to deal with something like that, which helps, you know, keep me calm and feeling safe and trusting that I know what I'm doing. This is one I'd do differently. Hot takes on the sliding door. All right, so to divide the driver's area from the back space, we built a dividing wall with a sliding door. Obviously this is a little short and I have to duck to get into the driver's seat, but it is beyond worth it because of all the storage I get up here. We kind of extended the natural storage area that is in the Transits to create the shelf. It's really deep. I keep an insane amount of stuff up here. So ducking to get to the driver's seat, I don't even care because the storage is amazing. This door is cute. I would not build it this way again. I cannot lock it from the front, which means if I take a sharp enough turn, it is gonna go flying, which is kind of unnerving, and sometimes I'm afraid it's gonna break. So the reason I wanted to do a dividing wall in the door were, one, for privacy, and then also it really helps keep either heat or cold out from the front. When it's particularly cold up there and I open the door, there's a noticeable difference between the two. So it's really handy for that. This part of the van definitely makes the van feel really homey. Obviously the cute French door is nice. I have my whiteboard here. I do work on the road, so just to have this to write down random thoughts if I can't find a notebook in here or something like that is really nice. It was something I really loved having in my apartment before I moved into the van, so having that here is nice. And then over here I can hang all of my leashes and different things for when we go out on an adventure. All right, back here we have a lot of stuff stored back here. So obviously I have my bike and the wheels here. I have my bag of tools. I like to stay active while on the road. It just keeps me sane. So I also have a kettlebell that you can turn the dial and it changes the weight on it, which is really nice. A yoga mat, foam roller. I also keep my camp chair, a tent, different things back here. I have my paddleboard. My electrical system is back here as well. I have 400 watts of solar on the roof, and then I have 200 amp hour lithium batteries under here, along with the rest of my electrical system. My inverter is here as well. There's also a control panel in the van, so I can turn it on and off from inside as well. And that's been all the power that I need. I do work in here, and I can charge my laptop. I can run my water heater. That's definitely the largest drain on my battery, but I can heat water for a shower, no problem, as long as we're getting good sun. So I don't need any more than we currently have. I would like to keep doing van life as long as I can. I'm hooked. We're 4 months in now and I love it. I feel like there's so much more to explore, and I really haven't really felt the need for a break, or I'm sure at some point I want to, you know, have a plumbed bathroom in a hotel room, but we're really comfortable in here and I've loved living this way. So as long as I can make it work, I want to keep doing it. We are documenting all of our travels and fostering adventures and different things like that on Instagram mainly. We're at Towing Wild Oats, and my website is towingwildoats.com. And that's Pam. Thanks for coming by. It's been fun showing you around.